Good morning, Professor. I'm going to make my oral presentation about the topic 4 good reasons to use literature in the primary schools. I'm going to be as briefly as possible. Number one, it says the article says that when we use literature in our classroom, it provides a good motivating atmosphere in the classroom, which is a very important aspect that we have to take into consideration when we try to teach something, that our students can be motivated, they can show a good attitude, be as positive as possible, because they can bring many situations from their families, from their environments, and we as a teacher can provide them a motivated atmosphere in their learning process is going to be very good. And if literature can bring this good benefit, I think that we as a teacher can take advantage of that differently. Also, it says that through literature, the students can develop their intercultural awareness and tolerance for diversity and emotional intelligence. I think this is very important because sometimes we focus just on the target language and we want them to learn the language and those academic aspects, but it's very important to think that we as a human, we are as a whole, and we cannot see just pieces of people, but as a whole, and we need to be aware of that reality. So it is important if they can create such as values and develop such as good attitudes as a people. Also, something very important is that literature can be a great tool and is one of the best way when prepared children for English medium instruction. Literature is going to give us the opportunity to integrate all the skills, and they can get this target language, which is English, in a very integrated way, and not just in isolation. We used to teach elements in separated way, but through literature we can use them as a whole, and they can learn the target language in context, in real life situation, can be more convincing, and can learn the language in a more natural way. Another one is that they are very interested by nature. Human likes to read, human likes stories, so we have to take advantage from that natural interest and try to improve it and motivate them to read and try to use it as a great tool. So if they want to read, we as a teacher have to give them the opportunity to do it in order to get that good benefits in their learning process. Also, it's very important the part of the academic awareness, which is very important because through literature they can learn about different topics. It's not just because you are going to focus on a structure, or you are going to focus in a tense, or you are going to see just an elements from the story, but as a whole it can teach very good things. The article says that literature can be an agent of changes, which is very important. Today we talk about a crisis of values, we talk about violence everywhere, discrimination, bullying, and a great tool to fight against all these phenomena, it can be using literature, because it can be presented as a mirror, as a reflection of what we're living, and we can find solutions through them. Besides, it says that through literature and real authentic material that we can use in the classroom, students can develop the critical thinking skills, which is very important because today's most of the students don't like to read and don't like to think, and they don't want to be critical. They just repeat and repeat what they hear, but they don't like to think. And if we can give the opportunity to develop such as good critical thinking, gonna be great, not just for our students in that moment, for them the rest of their lives. Those critical thinkers are the main to get the main points, supported details in stories, in readings, to be able to compare and contrast cause and effect, evaluating evidence. They can be a critical person, and not just, I repeat it, not just for the moment, but they can develop those skills for the rest of their life as a person. one of the most important things also mentioned in the article was that through literature, through readings, they can understand better about themselves and about the world. So for me, it's very important, because if they are able to understand themselves, they're going to be happier. They're going to have a better self-esteem and understand the success and everything that happens around the world, which is very important, because we need to know about everything every day, not just to be enclosed in what's in one situation in our region, in our country, but we are aware what is happening around the world. So after reading that article, I realized that through literature we can get really good benefits, and for me as a teacher is very important, and it gave me the purpose to try and to implement, to use it a little bit more in our classes in order to improve them learning process and help them to get, in this case, the target language. But more than that, more good benefits that are going to help them as students and as the people that they are. So for me, that's my presentation. So thank you very much.